Welcome to the Cougar Connection podcast. Today we are highlighting a new staff member in our new Teacher Spotlight series. I'm Kamber Arthalony, here with Miss Sennett, who is a science teacher at Illini Central Middle School. So to start us off, just tell us a little bit about your family, where you're from, any pets, hobbies, anything like that.
Yeah, so my hometown is Havana, so I'm a Mason County girly. I've lived here my whole entire life. I have one brother, and then obviously my mom and dad. Grew up in Havana, graduated high school in Havana. My newest hobby right now is taking care of my puppy that I got over the summer. She was my graduation present from college. And so she's 7 months old now, so she's still definitely in the puppy stage. But she's so fun, and we have a really good time with her. So. Oh, that's so cute. I
can only imagine.
Oh, she's so cute. She's a fox red lab.
Ooh.
So yeah, she's a red lab. Everybody always thinks she's a hound dog, but she's not a hound dog. She's a lab. Yes.
Okay, so I know you're from Mason County, so that might be a little bit of why you came to Illini Central. You already knew about it, but what is another reason you came to Illini?
I love the small town school district feel. Going to school in Bloomington, I was in a lot of those big schools, but I always really liked that hometown feel where in high school I knew everybody that was in high school, same with middle school, everything else, and I wanted that with my students. Like when I stand out in the hallway, I pretty much know who everybody is, and I just think it makes more community and it makes a closer family.
Yeah, because I have said this a million times. I would never, ever, ever go to a bigger school if I had the choice.
Right.
Because not even like you know every student's name, but you also have a connection with most of the students, if not every single one.
Yes. I didn't grow up in this school district, but it's so similar to like what I grew up with Havana, where like a lot of these teachers know who your parents are, and they know who your grandparents are, which can be a blessing and a curse for sure. But I think just having that community inside the school, but also having that community outside of the school too, is super important. And I think that's what makes like IC such like a close knit school for sure.
You put that really well. No one's ever said like how we come together inside the school and outside the school.
It's definitely a combination of both for sure.
That was very well put. So what made you want to become a teacher? Because like when I was in middle school, I had a teacher that made me want to become a teacher, but I've since not pursued that plan.
Yes. So my mom is actually a middle school teacher as well. So I grew up in that like being a teacher's kid, but also got to see like what the role is of being the teacher, the behind the scenes, the grading papers until 9 o'clock at night. So I think I was just more prepared of what it takes to be a teacher and the effort you have to put into it. And I love the idea of being off in the summer and having Christmas break and all of those things too. But I think the biggest thing that made me want to be a teacher is just making those connections with students, like having that community like we were talking about, where I can just be integrated into so many people's lives, like have that helping hand.
Of course. So would that be your favorite thing about teaching?
I would say so. I think it's definitely like the student-teacher interaction, but also I love science. So getting to do all the experiments and getting to do all of that stuff obviously is super fun as well. Yeah,
of course. So now that you've been here for a few weeks, a little more now, what have you enjoyed most about Illini Central?
It's going to go back to that community thing again.
Always.
I love it. I love getting to know the students and, that's this one's sister and these are cousins, and like it's so close in the school district. And so it's been really fun having that, where I have like a sister in 8th grade, but I have a brother in 6th grade, and just like how they're so different but they're so similar at the same time. It's been super fun. Everybody's been super great, and just welcoming me here, and I've had a really good time so far.
Yeah, of course. And we love that you are here because we like the people that like our small town community.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if you could give a piece of advice to your students from when you were their age, or maybe in high school, whatever, what would you say to them?
I think especially with my middle schoolers, middle school's a tough age.
Yeah.
You're transitioning, you're kind of you're a kid and you're becoming that adult, that young adult. And it's hard. Relationships are hard during this time. Like, you are changing within yourself. Some of, like, what you believe in is changing as well, where it's not just, like, what your parents think anymore. It's turning into what you think. And I think the biggest piece of advice I could give my middle school self would be to, like, give myself grace. Just give yourself grace. Things are going to be crazy sometimes. Like, you're going to have rough days. You're going to have situations with your friend groups or something like that that's not going to go the way you want. And be able to tell yourself, like, it's okay. This is all going to work out. My mom always says, is this going to matter 5 years from now? And it used to drive me crazy when I was little, but now it's such good advice because there's so many situations, especially for middle schoolers, where it's really not that big of a deal. But they just get so anxious about it, and they want the situation to be solved right away when it doesn't need to be that big of a deal in the first place. So.
Right, because it's like there will be drama, there will be... There's going to be a period of time where you're not quite sure who actually, like, who you are, who Kamber is, who Miss Sennett is.
Yes.
You're not going to be sure all the time. There is that time where that comes, and most of the time it's in this middle school transition to high school period. So.
Yeah, which I love being in that and being able to help my students through that. But at the same time, sometimes I'm like, man, it's really not going to be that big of a deal. It really isn't. Like, you're going to be okay, I promise.
Can we just fast forward just a little bit? Show them it's not going to affect their life when they come back.
Yes.
Okay, so we all know teaching, very stressful some days.
Yeah, it can
gets you going. We all know that.
Yes.
I think everyone knows that.
Yes,
so,
for sure.
What do you like to do to wind down after a long day at school? Like, what's your go-to thing?
I'm a big Netflix junkie.
Oh, me too.
I love Netflix. I always have some type of TV show that I'm watching. Sometimes I'm rewatching a TV show if I just can't find anything to get into. I think that it just kind of shuts my brain off for a little bit, kind of de-stresses me, especially before bed. I don't want to be sitting in bed thinking about like all my school stuff I need to do or things like that. So Netflix definitely helps with that. Reading, I also love to read, so I will do that too.
I'm a big Netflix girl, and everyone's like, Kamber, you should watch a new show. Kamber, you should do this. I don't find new ones that I like all that often because I've watched everything. Like, I really have.
Yes, for sure.
I'm a big go back to Grey's Anatomy every 3 months.
Oh, yeah. Grey's Anatomy, One Tree Hill.
All
of those, yes,
Vampire
for sure.
Diaries. I go back to those are my main 3 that I just go on back to.
For sure.
Every time.
Yes.
We, here in the class, we talk a lot about music. It's like one of the most talked things about, and it's nothing related to what we were doing here. But we talk a lot about it. So we thought that we would ask everyone who would be your top artist on your playlist right now.
So my top artist is pretty specific, which he's getting super big right now. So it's okay. It's Tyler Childers. He's always going to be my top artist. Forever and always. I absolutely love Tyler Childers. He's like my bucket list artist that I want to see in concert right now, and I hope I get to see him before he stops making music. But he's definitely my top one right now.
Oh, that would be a really good one to go see too.
Yes.
Now, like I mentioned, that was more of the class's intriguingness. Mine, I like to know about everyone's pet peeves. So what would yours be?
So my students are going to laugh at this because my intro on like the first day of class or the second day, whatever day I introduced myself, I think it was the second day actually, I put what my pet peeve was in my intro slides just so they knew ahead of time that if I'm like, oh my goodness, stop doing that, they know it's my biggest pet peeve. But my biggest pet peeve is chewing with your mouth open. I can't stand it.
We're on the same
I don't know, like it just like hurts like my ears, like listening to someone chew with their mouth open.
Yeah, because if you chew with your mouth open, you're also chewing super loud. Everyone can hear you. It's like the worst noise in the world. It's the worst sight in the world. It's terrible.
It's terrible. I feel like a lot of people have that pet peeve, but oh my goodness, it just like makes my blood boil instantly.
I really like do, because like sometimes in the morning, like I take the twins to school. They're sophomores, so they don't have their license yet.
Right.
And we'll be sitting in my car, and we're, like, eating our breakfast because we didn't have time this morning. And, like, I'm like, stop chewing that loud. Right. It really gets me going.
Yes. For sure.
Or drinking loud too. I know you can't really control that as much, but it really sometimes you just gotta stop gulping as much and just quiet it down.
Like mouth noises, I can't do it. I can't stand it.
Yep. See, I'm glad we're on the same wavelength. Well, thank you, Miss Sennett, for taking the time to sit down with me today. And make sure to look out for the next Cougar Connection podcast coming soon to you.